What's up, guys? Brandon here. Time for another small account challenge update. Let's pull the TASTYWORKS tab over. Sitting up on the day about 670. This is going to bounce back and forth, of course, with our spread prices all over the place. It might be 600, 580, 750. All depends on how everything's dumping. You can see all the trades taken today. My spread on Facebook, I tried closing out. We got burnt on Facebook right away in the day. Made about 290 back on Netflix, about 300 bucks, and then a huge 600. $75 profit on Apple, and continuing on the spread. So let's take a look. Facebook, I had the spread from overnight from yesterday. So what I was looking to do was purchase back that put, right? Or that put sell and let the put buy run, right? To lock in more profits. And we were up like 80, 90 bucks right in here. I'm like, yeah, well, let's reject the opening price. Maybe give it some time. Maybe go all the way up to yesterday's close or the split. No big deal. So we sold it off and let it go against us a whole bunch of chop. Should have took it off. Just looked like a real squeezy right here. All these buy candles. But I thought maybe give it a little bit of time. But after we broke support of the split resistance and came back down and touched it and had a little bit of a bull move, I was out. So a $220 some loss there instead of an $80 winner. We should have just took it right away in the dump this morning, but it's okay. No big deal. I was right. I was just early, unfortunately. So let's go into the next trade here. It looks like, I just want to check into Facebook right here. It looks like Facebook might come up for VWAP tag in yesterday's close price and then start pulling back, completely not following the market. So kind of good that we took the small loss on that and got out of it, right? Let's go over Netflix real quick. Netflix was the main watch today. I called about 10 points on this in chat. I figured if I could get it at the 4-hour resistance mark, which it double topped perfectly at our 4-hour lines, which everybody knows in chat and in group, we always use, or I always use, the 4-hour chat. The play was to run up, test the 4-hour wedge, and reject. It did exactly that. Thank goodness. So locked in a nice $340 winner there. I had a really nice spread on this one. I got in a little early, but I just let it work, right? It came up and it started feeling like 200. I'm like, whatever, I'll just take the short here and risk the break of the 4-hour and up. So we just let it work, I ended up losing power today, as a lot of people know in chat. But I just monitored at my phone. I was like, well, whenever I had to leave at the gym, maybe it'll be back, came back. And I was watching at the gym at this big dump. So I set an order out to fill. Let's see. See, I purchased the put on Netflix at 330. So we're trying to sell a put higher than this to lock in those gains. We had a 30-cent spread lock there. And this is the next purchase. I added in puts, that's right. I added in one put, on Netflix, and then I added up to 2 puts, and then I covered and got filled 2 at 265. So I got a 5-cent beat on that one and a 35-cent beat on the other. So, and the Apple, as it continues going down and decaying, we had a 179 fill on Apple and a 180 cover on Apple, locking in all those gains. Only a penny difference on the spread, but I didn't like the way Apple was looking, so I put a loose limit out there because let's take a peek at Apple real quick, because that thing, man, it was quite the grinder. I'm glad I covered Netflix when I did. You can see it coming back up here. Tomorrow we might get a nice retrace. Now Apple, I got in a little early on Apple. I took 4 contracts to the downside, 157.50s. Just keep this up so I can look, huh? Yeah, 157.50. That was the cover sell. Okay, so we took 5 160 puts, purchased those when it was up here. I got in early on this break right here. It's heavy consolidation through after 145, and I'm like, well, it already tested weekly. This is a huge resistance line I use off the weekly chart per my trend line system. And I said, well, stop out will be over that, right? Whatever. So if it does go against us, just let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. So we were up a tad bit here on the little dumps, and all of a sudden it squeezed, and I'm like, okay, I better just hit the gym, set a stop, and not look at it because it's gonna kill you. So we were down like probably 700 on the day, but you got to stick to your trade. You got to stick in that sediment, right? Like I knew the sell-off was coming. The squeeze up was nothing on SPY. I knew it was gonna continue down, like just, you know, it had to happen. So I let it double top, hit another high here, got red, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, we had the breakdown, 50 rejection. We started getting real green, and then it had a big panic down in continuation as we thought, right? So we're keeping that. We put the limit order out there for the fill. We got the fill, like you've seen, at 180. So if it continues down and keeps going and going and going, our P&L is going to stick higher and higher and higher on that spread, and we might be able to close that spread tomorrow for a real decent gain. So we'll be watching for that. And if it continues, I'm just going to close all the spreads tomorrow on Friday, or let them, because they're all for December 21st, which is tomorrow. So we're going to see if these spreads will come back up, because the sells, if those go above like the 157.50, if it expires, if somehow Apple retraces up and you know, stays above our support here, which we'll get an extra premium if Apple bounces and expires. We just let that premium from the put sell rack up, right? So we'll see what it does tomorrow. See what the spreads look like. If we can close them, great. If not, we're looking at about $600-700 on the day. That's the update I got for the small account challenge. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in chat.